The facts above have been set out to demonstrate the difficult terrain that this court had to traverse to arrive at its conclusion. It follows from the above that it would be unwise to rely on any evidence by the witnesses, and this includes those witnesses called by the defense who gave evidence on what they heard that morning without testing each version against objective evidence. Human beings are fallible and they depend on memories which fade over time. Thankfully, as it shall be clear from the chronology of the events, this court is in a fortunate position in that it has objective evidence in the form of technology, which is more reliable than human perception and human memory, and against which all the other evidence can be tested. Phone records which tell us exactly who made the call, from which cell phone to which cell phone, and at what time, were made available to this court, and we took full advantage of that. There is also a record of the duration of each call. It is significant that although most of the timelines were initially introduced into evidence by the state, it was the defense which analyzed the timelines and set out hereunder, and addressed the court on each. When I asked State Counsel if the timelines were common cause, his response was that the only recordings of, I'll rephrase. When I asked State Counsel if the timelines were common cause, his response was that only the recordings of the various calls were common cause, giving an impression that the rest of the timelines was disputed. However, there was no address forthcoming from the state to disturb the timelines as set out hereunder. In any event, one can safely use the phone records, which were made between 300 hours 15:51 and 300 hours 17, as a base to arrive at the approximate times when the shots were fired, when the screams were heard, as well as when the sounds of the cricket bat was striking against the door were heard. In addition, the accused's phone records are also available. A perusal of these records shows that at 3:19:03, which was minutes after the sounds caused by a cricket bat were heard, which was approximately 300 hours 17, the accused was on the phone calling Stander. A minute later, he called 911. Thereafter, 1.5 minutes later, he called security. I now proceed to set out the chronology of events. 1. At 2:20, security activated guard track next to the house of the accused. 2. Approximately between 3:12 and 3:14, first sounds were heard. These were shots. 3. Approximately 300 hours 14/15, accused was heard shouting for help. 4. Approximately between 300 hours 12 and 300 hours 17, screams were heard, or screaming was heard. And 5. Approximately 300 hours 15, accused was seen walking in the bathroom. 6. 300 hours 15:51, The duration was 16 seconds. Dr. Stipp telephoned the Silver Lake security. 7, 3:16. The duration was 58 seconds. Ms. Johnson called and spoke to Strubenskop security. 8, 3:16:13. Mr. Michael Ntlengetwa made his first call to security. This call did not go through. 9, 3:16:36. The duration was 44 seconds. Mr. Michael Ntlengetwa made his second call to security. 10, 3:17. Dr. Stips attempted to make a call to 10-111. 11, 3:17. Second sounds were heard. These were cricket bats striking against the door. 12, 3:19:03. The duration was 24 seconds. The accused called Johann Stander. 13, 3:20:05. The duration was 66 seconds. Accused called 911. 14, 3:21:33. The duration was 9 seconds. The accused called security. 15, 3:22:05. Duration 12 seconds. Peter Baba, the security, called the accused. 16, 03:22. Baba, the security, arrived at the house of the accused. 17, approximately 3:22, Johann Stander and Karisi Viljoen arrived at the house of the accused. 18, approximately 3:23/24, Dr. Stipp arrived at the house of the accused. 19, 3:27:06, Johann Stander's call to 911 in the presence of Dr. Stipp. 20, 3:27:14, Dr. Stips attempted to call security. This call did not get through. 21, 3:41:57, an ambulance arrived at security gate of Silverwood's estate. 22, approximately 3:50, paramedics declared the deceased dead. 23, approximately 3:55, police arrived at the accused house. The chronology above gives a feel of where various witnesses corroborate one another's evidence and where they contradict one another. An analysis of the evidence using the timelines as a basis will also assist this court to determine whether the state has proved beyond reasonable doubt that the accused had direct intention and premeditation to kill the deceased.